It's Sunday, November 15th, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about And Found. Get it? Because the show is called Lost and Found. Clever. This is both a Sun and Jin flashback. Sun is being forced to date this man via her parents and a matchmaker, and this guy owns like 12 hotels. And despite the fact that Sun hates the whole matchmaking thing, she really ends up liking this guy, but it turns out that he's got an American sweetheart. This is the same guy that Sun will ultimately end up having an affair with and teaches her English. Jin goes on a job interview to the hotel, but before that his roommate talks about how he will find love, and orange is somehow involved. There's a father and son who really need to use the bathroom, and Jin lets him in despite the fact he's not supposed to let people like him in, and the owner kind of, belittles him for it, and Jin ultimately ends up quitting. And he's walking down the street and he sees this gorgeous woman in an orange dress, and he turns around to look at her, and then he runs into Sun and they have a meet cute. On the island, our tail section people decide they're going to go meet up with the rest of the survivors. But before they go, they need to collect provisions for their walk. I like how Ana Lucia gets frustrated and Jin just throws his net out there and catches a bunch of fish, and he gives that look like, what now, bitch? Speaking of Ana Lucia and bitch, if memory serves, the writers said that they really didn't understand why people disliked Ana Lucia so much to begin with. Really? Perhaps it was because she was a super mega bitch who needed to let go of her control issues. I mean, I know life was really stressful for our tail section people, but seriously, Anna, lighten up. We are formally introduced to Mr. Echo. I like how it was never a big issue that he called himself Mr. Echo. Like, we just kind of accepted it and moved on. Michael and Libby go to collect fruit, but they're not finding a heck of a lot, and Michael says they should go to inland, and Libby says, no way, we're not going there, that's where they come from, and then Michael takes off. Ana Lucia says that they can't wait for Michael, and they've got to keep going, but Jin insists that he go find Michael, and Echo is going to help him. On the search for Michael, Jin gets hit by a boar, and then he comes across a dead corpse, and Mr. Echo says that that was Goodwin, and Jin says others, and Echo says yes. So we are led to believe that Goodwin was killed by the others, not that he was one. Those tricky writers. Echo sees that Jin has a wedding ring on and asks him if his wife was on the plane. Jin says yes and asks if he was married, and Echo says he was. I don't remember Echo having a wife. Was that storyline ever talked about at all on the show? Echo hears some noises in the jungle, and Jin starts to ask him, and Echo tells him to shut the heck up, and they hide under a bush. Creepy. Jin is getting some water by the stream, and he sees Michael, and Michael tells him to go away. He's not leaving without his son, Walt! Michael says that he just can't move on because they took Walt out of his hands. Echo insists that they all stick together, and Michael holds up his stick, and I was thinking, no Michael, you don't want to fight Mr. Echo with sticks. His stick will beat your stick. Back with our regular cast of survivors, Sun has lost her wedding ring, and she is frantically trying to search for it. She talks to Hurley about it, and they retrace her steps, and Hurley is convinced that Vincent ate the ring. They're waiting around for Vincent to, crap so that they can check for the ring. When Hurley talks about his dog Buster crapping out nickels, how did the actors not break up laughing?
The next day, Buster craps out $1.35 in nickels.
Sun is incredibly sad and frustrated and starts to tear up her garden, and Locke comes to kind of console her. Sun says to Locke, I've never seen you get angry. Kate tries to cheer Sun up, saying that Jin is fine, and Sun says no, she knows he's not fine because they found the messages in the bottle, and she goes to dig it up to show Kate, and that's where she finds her wedding ring. And that's where we're going to leave it today, with Sun being reunited with her wedding ring. I'm back tomorrow talking about Abandoned, so I'll see you guys then.
We're gonna need to watch that again.